Hey guys, it's Brandy here, and today we are going to talk about, are cheat meals worth it? And here's a little secret, it depends. So sit back, relax, and we're gonna take a minute and get into this. So while you are relaxing, go ahead and click the subscribe button, click the like button on this video, and we'll get down to it. First, what are cheat meals? I think we kind of all know what a cheat meal is. A cheat meal is something that you are cheating on, right? You are on a diet that's restricting certain things, and your cheat meal is eating those things that you are not supposed to have, right? So, for example, a juicy cheeseburger or a pizza, or if, say, you're on a plant-based diet, a big steak. What is a cheat meal for? What's the purpose that it serves? So the modern dietary fad, craze, whatever you want to call it, promotes cheat meals in order to keep people on their track, right? It was kind of advertised as a way to mitigate the feelings of deprivation and to keep people motivated to keep on their diet, right? Because if you're just plugging away and you're hating life, sometimes all you have to look forward to is Fun Friday, and you get to have a cheat meal on Friday, right? So it's this mitigation of deprivation, of what I would like to call food depression. So first off, do cheat meals work? Okay, so we know they're talked about a lot, and we know they're kind of thrown out there as a way to achieve your goals, a way to get what you want. But does it work? So let's see a show of hands for how many people have started a diet and you put cheat meals in there because you knew you were going to fall off if you didn't have any, and how many people at some point in time you weren't getting the results you wanted, you gave up, and you went right back where you were. So let me ask you, did those cheat meals work? Did you stay on track? Or did you fail the diet? Probably because you're watching this video, my guess is that you failed a diet or two. I know I have. So did it work for you? Obviously not. Now, why did it fail? Did the diet fail because you weren't getting the results you wanted? Did the diet fail because you didn't have a cheat meal? Did the diet fail perhaps because you didn't change your mindset patterns around eating? So, what's the cause of the failure? Most of the time, I would say it's a combination of not getting results and not changing mind patterns around eating. My story here, the reason why this got brought up is Mark and I were having this discussion about cheat meals. So first off, a little bit about me. I'm a data fiend. I like to record everything. Not because I'm, super, over anal about stuff. I just like to see patterns. I'm a pattern person. So here's a pattern that I have noticed within the past 6 weeks that I've been on this little experiment here. And then when I started actually looking at it, it's been a pattern for years, like the past 3 to 5 years. All right. So my story is the past 3 to 5 years, I've kind of been at this like post-pregnancy weight that just doesn't ever change. It's been the same. Not terrible, but just not where I was before. And I don't feel the greatest at it. I feel a little frumpy. My clothes don't fit right, that kind of thing. Just feel sluggish. But I've been trying to lose, and I've been steadily losing and gaining back the same 3 pounds for the past 3 years, right? So each week I see this pattern. I start losing a little bit of weight. I'm cutting back on my portions. I'm watching my calories because I've kind of been on this mindset in the past of calories in, calories out, because that's what everybody says, right? As you probably see my other videos, that doesn't really work. It's a little bit part of it. It's a piece, but that's not the whole puzzle. So my go-to has been restrict the calories and eat less, work out more, and I'll see like maybe a pound or so come off. Well, every Friday night, our family has a tradition. We have Fun Fridays. So we have pizza and a movie, okay? Or we'll have pizza and popcorn, and we'll have ice cream for dinner. It's Fun Friday, right? So, I don't know, kids have gotten used to this. We've gotten used to this. It's just a tradition that we like. So we've had this in place. Well, I started looking back at my graph, okay? So my graph over the past 3 to 5 years, I'll have a very, small incremental loss, like maybe half a pound or so. And then every Saturday morning, I'm up about a pound, 3/4 of a pound. And then the next week, I'm steadily losing just a little bit of that pound that I gained on Saturday. Okay, so my weight loss, trying to restrict my calories and trying to really work out and everything, my weight loss has always been slow. It's been slow and steady. But when I lose just a little bit and then I gain everything I lost and sometimes even more on the weekend and then start over again, I get nowhere. And it gets very frustrating. And then I started looking back all through the years and I finally saw it and it clicked. What am I doing? Like, is my cheat meal helping me, or is it actually setting me back? Because for me, I am a results motivated person. If it's working, I will do it. If I don't see it working, I don't care. Give me the cheesecake. But if it's working, hey, I'm going to stick with it. So for me at this point, cheat meals are not working. They don't keep me motivated because it actually harms my results. My results are not as fast. And so when things start slowing down, I start getting antsy. It's just me. So it doesn't help me to stay on track. And it actually doesn't help change my patterns of thinking. So for me, the answer is, do the cheat meals work? No. But now let's change the stories. Let's look at my husband's story. So when we first started this diet, this was a huge change for his eating pattern because he is fit and he's active and he burns like 2,000 calories every day just in his exercise. So he eats what he wants. And he's used to eating cereal and chips and salsa and crackers and like just anything, sugar, cookies, whatever. And he can get away with it. He can maintain whatever he wants to. But he's been used to all these carbohydrates. So now when we start this whole food diet where we're not doing all these grains and processed snacks, this was a big deal for him and he was quite grumpy. So for him at the beginning of this, that cheat meal kept him motivated because otherwise he felt super deprived and just kind of mad about it. Part of that was because he had a bit of a candida overgrowth in his gut. And I can make another video on that because that's a whole other topic. But when you have a candida overgrowth, you have these little demon fungus in your stomach that hijack your brain and make you crave sugar. So more on that later. But he needed the cheat meals at the start, just to deal with his cravings and this overwhelming sense of deprivation. But he has noticed the same thing on his graph. Every Friday he has this little spike and then he'll drop dramatically and then he has another spike and then it drops dramatically. But every week it's the same for him too. He's noticed this. Well, now we're at week 6 and he's seeing amazing results. And at this point, he doesn't feel deprived. He feels full, he feels satisfied. And so he was like, well, why are we having cheat meals on Fun Friday? Like, do we need them? And we kind of started thinking about it. We're like, well, it's not motivation anymore because we don't feel deprived. So then what's the point? So at the beginning, for him, it was worth it. But now it's not because he's also a results person. And so the motivation has changed. Okay, so here's the key thing with do cheat meals work? It depends on your motivation. If you need that to stay on track, then yes, it works. Your weight loss will be slower. But if that's what keeps you on plan, then it's better to have slow and steady than it is to just come off and quit altogether, right? But if you're going to quit because things are slow and you're not getting the results you want, then you've shot yourself in the foot. However, we haven't really addressed the biggest thing, and that is your food motivation. Why are we doing Fun Fridays? Like for my family, Fun Fridays, because food somehow became equal to fun. But is that really true? Is food fun? I mean, it can be, but can you have fun without that? Well, sure. You just have to plan around it. You have to plan something else in the place of it, right? So, and that's where, trying to figure out what emotions are linked to your food and then changing that way of thinking, okay? Food is food, okay? Food can be fun, but is food fun? No. There can be fun that doesn't require food, right? So it's changing that way, that pattern of thinking, to try to figure out what are my emotions. Am I sad? Does food make me feel better? Well, is there a different way that I can address my grief or my feelings than eating it? Probably. So it's looking at motivation. It's looking at those things and working them out for yourself. It does take some soul searching. And yeah, that takes some work. But if you're in this to be healthy and to have a better, healthier, longer, more energized life, to be free of the need for certain foods, and this is what I call nutritional independence. I'm going to coin this phrase. Nutritional independence. So I am not dependent upon my food to regulate my emotions or my mental state of mind. Okay, I am dependent on my food for nutrition, but as far as that goes, I am not bound by it. I'm not going to be so rigid in my diet that I can't go out to eat with a friend who wants to because I'm too afraid of what's in the food. Okay, I'm not going to be that strict. I don't want to stress about this, but I also want to live a healthy life. So in my day-to-day, yes, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to have healthy choices, but there's some flex in there, okay? And there's grace, right? But do I need a cheat meal every single week? No, I really don't. All this to say, is a cheat meal worth it? It depends on where you're at, your mindset, your motives, and what are you driven by? Are you driven by deprivation? Are you driven by results? What's the motivation? So be thinking on that. Type out what you got in the comments. What's your motivation? Is it results? Is it the deprivation, mitigation? Is it just because you can? What is your motivation? Think about that and put it in the comments, and let's have a discussion about it. Y'all have a good weekend.